There we go. Okay. Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Monday again, of course. Ariel Jarvis, all right. Vitality Wellness, James Gardner, the hero within. This is our conversations on vitality. And each week, Ariel and I sit down and we chat about the body, the spiritual, physical, chemical makeup of the body, how to utilize our given gifts here and live a healthy, productive, vital life. Today, Ariel, we're going to talk liver. We're going to talk
Yes.
liver. We're going to talk its effect chemically, physically, mentally, on the human, emotionally on the human body, which is super kind of interesting when you think of an organ and how that can impact on all four of those things. Uh, let's open this conversation up with liver. For some people out there, we know it's an organ in the body. Let's take us through the, like, we're all 10-year-olds, including myself, because I don't know hardly anything about the liver.
Well, it's an absolutely fascinating
Okay.
organ. What people don't realize is the liver actually is about 1,677 grams. Okay. So, depending on if it's filled with, fluid, it can be just under a pound or just over a pound.
Hmm.
And it's located in the right side, just underneath the ribs, so that it's protected, right? So we want to make sure it's protected. And a lot of people can have, sometimes when it gets inflamed, they can have pain in the back as well, just because all the nerves surrounding are all interconnected. With the liver, what people don't realize is it has 500 main functions and up to 1,500 functions in the body that it's connected to. So if you think about your liver being about 1,600 grams, and you break that down into particles and molecules, and each particle has 0.6 millivoltage of energy, your liver has a lot of energy, a lot of potential, and it's involved with a lot of reactions. And so we want to make sure that we are doing things day to day that will enhance the liver and not put more stress on the liver. So the liver needs to get cleaned, right? Just like we brush our teeth, we need to make sure we're running good, clean water through the liver with the right electrical charge so that it can remove the plaque, so that you don't develop all this nastiness in the liver. We also want to be mindful about parasites, and we want to be mindful of viruses. And parasites, when you get them in the liver, like liver flukes, things like that, they can actually embody viruses. So we really want to be mindful of that, because remember, parasites and viruses, they poop, they pee, they throw off the pH. That's now circulating through the blood. And now we're getting mycotoxins. We're getting, our body is getting all of those neurotoxins, which can make us more nauseous or just having more physiological effects. So what is the role of the liver? Okay, so we know that there's about 500 to 1,500 functions. Number one is to balance the body, balance your pH. Okay, breaking down the food going through the digestive system. It's involved in all 11 body systems. So if you have a pen and paper, these are some good nuggets. So the first body system is your digestive system, so from belly button up. The second one is your intestinal system, so from belly button down. You've got your immune system, which is mostly in the gut, but the liver plays a huge role in that. You have your nervous system. Okay, so remember, that's how your body electrically, chemically talks to one another, and the liver plays a huge role in that. Your cardiovascular system, your respiratory system, your endocrine system, which is your hormonal system. Remember, the liver has a huge correlation with your hormones, your testosterone, your progesterone, your estrogen, when you're menstruating, right? PMS. How about your reproductive system? Okay. And then we've got your urinary tract, and then you've got your musculoskeletal system. Okay, so your bones, your tissues, your cartilage. And so there's a lot that the liver plays a role with. So we want to make sure our liver is functioning optimally, not underactive cells, because then you have an underactive liver and then the whole body goes haywire. What you eat actually affects the liver. So green inside, clean inside. Chloroplasts, found in chlorophyll, found in plants, helps clean the liver. Milk thistle helps clean the liver. So chlorophyll, milk thistle, very, very important. Those are your day to day. Okay. The second thing is making sure that you are drinking 1 liter for every 50 pounds you weigh. You have to flush your liver. What people they forget about is that toxins will store as sludge, and then eventually your gallbladder won't function properly. So then your bowels and your weight and your hormones and your energy all go out the door. Now, when we think about toxins, we want toxins to exit the body faster than when they come in. However, we might have some things in our lifestyle that are very toxic. Maybe going out on the weekend. Did you know 1 can of beer has 500 carcinogenic toxins? Yes, I said that. 1 can. So you're putting your liver at risk with 1 beer, 1 drink. There's nothing in alcohol that is good for your liver, not even the antioxidants. They cancel each other out because the alcohol is so bad for the liver. Things like vinegar. Vinegar is also really harmful to the liver. So, and I'm not talking about apple cider vinegar. I'm talking about the red vinegar, the white vinegars, our salt and vinegar chips. How about canola oil and all the processed fats, the rancid fats? Yes, those are all really hard on the liver. So I always tell people, pick your poison, don't pick too many, don't do it too often. And you may not smoke, you may not do drugs, and you may not drink, and you can still get cancer of the liver and cirrhosis. Well, I thought cirrhosis was only from people that were alcoholics.
Right.
A vegan can get cirrhosis who doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs, and doesn't take medications.
And why is that? And why is that?
2 reasons. Liver stress, okay? Number 1, you can have a physiological stress on the liver. And number 2, you can have deep-rooted trauma, creating an emotional response. Remember, emotions also release chemicals from the body, and that gets stored in the liver. Have you ever noticed how their mood can change as soon as they get a little bit, intoxicated? Maybe they get aggressive.
Yeah.
And that's actually because they've got stored emotions in the liver. And now all of a sudden, that has created a chemical response, and the liver was already dealing with emotional trauma, and then you add in the chemicals on top of it, and now they have an outrage, right? So they're aggressive, they're angry. And so we need to be mindful about your deep-rooted trauma, your emotions, stuffing things down. You cannot suppress your emotions. You have to find a healthy outlet. Mm-hmm. Things that release happy endorphins or dopamines, or they release oxytocin, because that is going to regulate the emotional inflammation that's being stored in your liver.
So how do we, you've just established the liver is super critical, as many organs are in the body, and it directly impacts a lot of things. How do we know if the liver is maybe not functioning optimally?
There's 3 things you can look for. Your skin is your biggest detoxing organ. So number 1, do you have any breakouts on your face, your chest, the back of your arms, or your back? Okay. Number 2 is, how is your digestive system doing? Do you get bloated? Do you get constipated? Diarrhea? Do you have a lot of food sensitivities? And number 3, how's your mood and energy? Are you constantly tired? Or are you moody? Or are you only moody when it comes to that time of the month? That's also not natural.
So let's because I know you have a lot of women in your circle and your clients. Let's talk on that for a second. So if during menstruation you're saying that it's not technically it's not natural to be moody in that time frame, like that's a signal that something is off.
Correct.
Across the board.
Correct. There's 5 different types of PMS, and they used to never exist. And the reason why they exist now is because women's reproductive system, hormonal system, and blood sugar has become so dysregulated and so imbalanced that there is actually a thicker membrane that produces during menstruation that has to break. So if that thicker wall has to break in order for menstruation to happen, you're going to have more pain, more cramping, more this, more that. And there's a huge correlation with your diet. And because we're consuming things that manipulate our estrogen, called phytoestrogens, found in soy products or found in heavy metals or toxins,
Mm-hmm.
we are now having endocrine dysregulation, which is our hormone system, or we're having endocrine imbalances. And so this is a huge correlation with our toxic environment. And people just don't have the time to take care of themselves. They physically don't have time to eat well,
Mm-hmm.
drink water, get their sleep, and deal with their stress. There
Mm-hmm.
is so much, and I'm just talking about women right now. So I apologize, men, but there is so much on a woman's plate, more than there used to be.
Of
Right.
course. Yeah.
And so what happens then is there's that reaction as well. Right. And so sometimes less is more. And sometimes getting back to the basics. Did I drink my water? Did I get my exercise? Did I get my sleep? How's my digestive doing? Remember, estrogen is released through the bowels. You know how many women come in here and they are chronically constipated? No wonder you're going to be moody. Estrogen is released through the bowels.
So, I think that would make anybody moody, but regardless of sex. So estrogen gets released through the bowels.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Huh. And so when someone is constipated, then the imbalance, the hormone imbalance starts to go out of whack.
Yes. And they start getting brain fog, and parasite activity goes up. Yeah.
Huh.
Cravings, back pain, all kinds of stuff.
And because obviously we've just gone down a PMS thing, and it's great.
We need to talk about this next time.
I know, maybe we should, because that's. I mean, obviously my community is mostly women too, with the women that I work with. So very interesting. And though, to circle it back, to bridge it back, the liver is a huge thing for that.
Yes, if your liver is clean and you've worked through your emotional stuff, and you'll notice that your physical will be able to cope better with the variables coming at you. Interesting.
So, it's interesting when we talk detox, a word that gets thrown around a lot. Everyone and their grandmother is going to go on a detox, right? Buy this, do this, cleanse this, right? It's one of the new catchphrases. It's a cool thing to do. I do know though that a liver detox is something that you do hear about, more so like a specific detox, right? And I want you to take us through that a little bit, because I remember back in my performance days, going back 6-7 years ago, we would do liver detoxes as athletes, because it would allow our body to absorb and process and cycle through glycogen and all of that a little bit more efficiently. Mm-hmm. Right. So take us through like liver detox. What does it look like?
Yeah. So as an athlete, you tend to eat more, which means you're putting more wear and tear on the liver, because it's involved with digestion and intestinal, ecology. Mm-hmm. So that being said, there's going to be more activity in the liver. When there's more activity, there's more byproduct. Okay. So we need to remove the sludge. So when you do a liver detox, all of a sudden there's more space in the liver for it to do all 500 to 1500 functions more effectively. And then you'll notice that your testosterone levels will improve, your mood will improve, your performance, your ATP reactions, cleaning your blood, which is oxygenation throughout the whole body. Nitric oxide pathways start to go up. You start to have more bioavailability of glycogen stores, because there's just more space for things to move, right? It's like if you have a garage and you want to park your car, but there's so much clutter, you can't fit anything in there. All of a sudden you do this little spring cleaning, clean it all out. Now you can fit your car, right? So
yeah, makes sense. So how do we get rid of that sludge? You talked chlorophyll, you talked milk thistle. If someone comes into Vitality and you determine, okay, hey, we're gonna detox the crap out of your liver,
Mhm.
literally. What what what's the protocol?
Yes, great question. So, first of all, I need to know if the person has a gallbladder. You'd be surprised how many patients of mine actually don't have a gallbladder because they've had it removed because of poor diet choices. So, the gallbladder's job is to emulsify fat. So, you
Okay.
have the liver, and then right underneath it, you have the gallbladder, and they are connected. Okay. And
Okay.
so that helps with bile production, emulsifying fat, helps digestion, helps with elimination, digestive system, intestinal tract. What people don't realize though is that it's not just focusing on the liver, you also have to take into consideration the gallbladder and the intestinal system because it's like a waterfall. You start putting toxins this way and pushing them out of the liver, where are they going to go? They're going to
Right.
go through the gallbladder, they're going to go through intestinal and into the toilet. So you want to make sure that that whole pathway is being considered. So number one is water, 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 because you need to have things flowing. Okay. So drinking a lot of water. Number two, taking lemon juice in your water first thing in the morning. Or if you don't like lemon juice, you can do lime juice, but make sure you have a straw because if you're doing a cleanse, you want to do a cleanse for 21 days or more, especially for a liver cleanse. So I usually do a 30-day cleanse or I'll do a 60-day
Mhm.
cleanse because your red blood cells running through your blood have a 25-day lifespan. So everything you eat and drink becomes the next generation of cells. So I usually do things for 30, 60, or 90 days. So let's say you're doing a 60-day liver cleanse. You want to make sure that you are waking up and you haven't eaten anything yet. You're going to do your water with your lemon or lime juice. Do it with a straw so you protect your enamel.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Okay.
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 On an empty stomach. Okay. Because now there's no enzymes required, there's no digestive required. It can just focus on liver function, cleaning the liver. Okay. And you're still in that intermittent fasting stage, right? So there's no
Mhm.
digestive. You haven't
Mhm.
woken up the digestive system yet. So then what can happen is now introducing things like chlorophyll, right? Which is going to remove any heavy metals, any plaque from the liver and the bloodstream because the bloodstream is also running through the liver and the liver's job is to filter out the blood and making sure that the blood is clean. So everything that you eat and drink is going to go into the blood, so making sure that you're not consuming toxic foods, fast foods.
Mm.
So I always tell people if you want to do a true liver cleanse, fruits and vegetables, make sure they're organic, drink your water, and and if you want you can introduce some herbs. So some of my favorite herbs would be, and remember liver function is different for everybody, right? Some people they have a gallbladder, some people don't. If you don't have a gallbladder, you need to be adding in lecithin or ox bile pills or enzymes. Okay, you can't just do enzymes on their own, you need the lecithin or the ox bile. The other thing you want to think about, and you take that every time you eat something, the other thing you want to think about is your fiber. Okay. So, step one, you've got your lemon juice or your lime juice,
Mhm.
lots of water throughout the day. You're eating your organic fruits and vegetables throughout the day, small portions. That's great. Green inside, clean inside. So, try to stick more of the low glycemic fruits and sticking more to the green vegetables. And then introducing things like dandelion, milk thistle, chlorophyll, fiber. Okay. Um, and then that way we're cleaning out the liver, we're cleaning out the gallbladder. Now we're working through the intestinal tract, we're removing any mucus, any bad pathogenic activity. People forget that they have parasites. So we want to remove that from the body. If you are someone that has parasites, adding in the artemisia, the podarco, the black walnut, and that will literally cleanse. If you do have a lot of acne, throwing in some caprylic acid. These are all herbs. These are all parasitic, anti-parasitic herbs. You can do the onion and garlic, but some people, those can be a little bit irritating. They can create a little bit of gas. So
Yeah.
not always recommended to do those ones. And then making sure that you are actually flushing. Some people, when they do a cleanse like this, they can actually get constipated. And so taking something called Cascara sagrada will actually work on getting the peristaltic movement of the colon wall moving. Your colon, your large intestine is like all these little muscles. So you get the peristaltic movement going, removes all the plaque, everything. So now you've just taken over and cleansed liver, gallbladder, digestive system, intestinal system. Now, all of a sudden, things change. When you start going back to eating regular food, regular athletic performance, all that fun stuff, you have so much more space for cellular activity. You have so much more space for liver function. And you'll notice you will feel like a totally different person.
Cool. Fascinating. Uh, Obviously, at Vitality, you have all those herbs at your disposal and all of that. So because you listed out we need a syllabus to or a glossary or something to kind of go with this. There's a lot of great things there, and of course they can come in and see you to get something that really is individualized. Just to circle back one quick moment before we wrap this up, gallbladder. So if someone has a gallbladder removed, that then means that their liver is working a little bit harder. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, so your liver will be working a little bit harder. You're going to have some fluctuations with your weight. Your weight is going to go up because most doctors won't tell you that you need to be on a low-fat diet, because now the function of the gallbladder is gone, which is to break down fat. So a lot of patients, they aren't informed on the ox bile, the enzymes, the lecithin, being on a low-fat diet. So then what happens is they blow up like a balloon. Okay. And that's very discouraging because that's a lot of inflammation. And so I've had patients where all of a sudden now we come in, change up their diet, get them on a couple supplements so that it can counteract the fact that there's no gallbladder, and they drop 40, 60 pounds.
Wow.
So making sure that you have, the proper mechanisms of the body function. And unfortunately, you don't have to take a pharmaceutical for that. Fun little fact too is a portion of your gallbladder. So let's say you get a gallbladder removed, a portion of your gallbladder will actually grow back. So your body's brilliant. We're like lizards. We like to grow things back, parts of our brain, parts of our gallbladder. Right. So it's really interesting through what the stem cells can do in the body.
What would cause someone to have a gallbladder removed? Because you made it seem like it actually is somewhat of a common thing.
Mm-hmm. So don't hate me, but the keto diet.
Really?
Yes. Be very careful if you're going to do a keto diet. There's clean keto and dirty keto. Dirty keto is all the pork rinds, the bacon, the butter, the greasy stuff, right? That is a saturated fat. There's saturated, unsaturated, polyunsaturated. So there's plant fat that your body can use to balance out your hormonal system. And then there's animal fat that's deep fried, rancid. So remember, not all macronutrients are the same. Not all toxins are the same, right? So try to get more of an a plant-based fat would be ideal, like avocado, walnuts, coconut oil, things like that, and really stay away from the pork rinds.
Wow. Look at that. Just learned something. Yeah. No hating on you for saying that. Come on now. All right. Wow, this was jam-packed, Ariel. Obviously the liver's the thing, yo.
It is. There's so much going on.
Yeah. Wow. So I like what you said. None of us walk this earth perfect in our choices and our habits and anything. And you said,
pick your poison.
Pick your poison.
Don't pick too many. Don't do it too often, and reset often.
There it is, gang. That's how we're going to end this conversation. That was awesome. Don't forget, Ariel is obviously Ariel knows wealth of information, Vitality Wellness, consultation. She will steer you right, and we'll be there to walk with you hand in hand. I think that's an important thing of the work that you do, Ariel. It's not just here, do this 3 times. We'll see you in a month, right? It's walking with your clients hand in hand.
The journey.
It is. Yep. All right. Well, we'll see you next week. Thank you as always. All right.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Cheers.